Bless you, buddy. What the heck? I would do so much.
Like this, if you have to be here in rotate on how long, or if you're on the collar of like, if you want to go with that.
$900? What the heck?
Yeah, I didn't know this. I was like, I'm thinking about it. Yes, and you know, this isn't our first rodeo with misheard lyrics, is it? Does anybody remember, like, the Chaos of Panther Traders, especially if you created during the time? I think it's in the Amiga Protocol also. But
I mean, who could forget?
oh, also, can you tell your Star Wars from your alarm board?
What is this? Star Wars. Okay, but I'm the tank now, and I'm calling Star Wars.
Oh my goodness.
Last,
You know,
you're right.
I feel like no matter what, I got hit. Did you get hit? Did you get hit?
Which is it? I don't know.
But that's pretty much there, and oh my goodness.
Memories. Alright. Now we have which one's first? Now I know I am.
Oh yes, I love this. So which came first, the Great Hunt Cardinal Raffle from Monster Hunter or yeah.
See? I heard an A though too.
I heard like a C somewhere.
A C.
Where's that come from? Alright. Is it because you carved a monster? Let's go ahead. Alright.
But if you get C, you would be correct. C actually came across 4.0. I think that was pretty memorable. This is very memorable.
Yes.
Yes. It was first introduced as the resistant.
remember when we had this dialogue option? It was like, with my memories to guide the
Whoa,
sign,
what
what could
the heck?
possibly go wrong?
What could go wrong, but I think Ruby might want to.
Yeah, let's show you.
I think that sounds like my piece,
Slightly
embedded in our heart
yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. We just kind of misremember what
How about
this
you?
time was like.
What do you mean, baby?
What is the vibe of the two?
What's the other one? That's right. Hey, what's me?
So, what came first?
Maybe
The
I'll-
justice thing or
No,
the
no,
taco?
it's all mine.
Big Fat
Now
Taco.
go away.
Oh, I
Never.
A, B,
You know what? You're gonna my para. I need your stupid para.
Furion just likes her.
Alright, so when
I'm
are
not
you
sure
showing
what
me?
Yeah.
I got the giant dragon.
The trusted samurai.
Oh my god, it's fine.
Right at the start.
Who has it? Who is that?
Lead, and this
Psych.
actually,
Why would
it
you
was
say
pretty
that?
much main scenario duties with NPC allies, and
Yeah, and you can also see your companions in their element. So you had monsters and leading enemies, or you had very trigger happy LFA.
indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what's ever happening with this form where you see a blue AoE and your limited light bar is full and you're wondering, what's that blue AoE on the floor? And then you suddenly hear this line. Or if it's another bar of limit break and then you suddenly hear something along the line of
Limit break bar just got completed.
oh, Alize, never
Yeah, but we have, we've been over before. This was very undecisive. But Big Fat Tacos or Ruby Weapons came in patch 5.2.
How about those tacos with raw ideas that
Yeah? Maybe we have a new Big Fat Taco rival. Yeah, maybe we need like a mashup of Ruby Weapons and Raha.
they both have a red aspect to them, so I feel
There
like,
you go.
but yeah, the misheard lyrics, strike again. But yeah, there was actually some debate, was it like big fat tacos, beef tacos, or I heard big fat tacos, like,
What does the audience say? Yeah, I heard the beef one.
I heard the song.
There was like the little cut up with that. Yeah, and like our dear community member, Wolfmine, he likes to say, I am never having lobster again. We might remember nail diamonds from this place.
My goodness, you could forget that smile. And you know what was funny is that when me and Wolfman arrived here in Vegas, there was a random lobster truck just sitting in the parking lot.
It was a restaurant. Yeah, waiting for me. What was that?
Sure. I can make you some breakfast.
Which was oh, I hear a mix.
Yeah. Oh my
Number
goodness.
2 type B lady going red comment. A? Is there a B? A? Is there a B? B? Oh, they're all there. All the red comic fans are over here.
So yeah, let's go ahead and see what makes this sound.
It was number 2 type B lady arriving in patch 5.18.
It was a
collaboration with
the Equip Donkey.
Yeah, there was some insane demand for these crates around this time. You probably spent weeks farming because you kept rolling a 1, and then you roll like a 98 and someone would hit you with a 99. I feel that pain.
Yes, I feel like there was like a week when this first came out. You got it your first try, but then for me it took like the whole entire week. Worst. But you know, I eventually got it. It's not like the best thing about the type leggings. What? It could be worn by all.
Everyone did it.
Did it?
So since 6.1, when I got this title of Senior Story Designer, my main responsibilities have been reviewing and editing the main scenario, as well as managing our writing section, but I'm also enjoying writing subquests at the same time.
8.5 でも時計様とリッチなからサブクエストを直接執筆しているんですけれども、6.5 については明日の PLL をお楽しみに。
You can see some of my work in patch 6.5 as well, such as the custom delivery quest. So please stay tuned to that PLL tomorrow for more info.
簡単に言うとあれですね、さらに出表して書くだけじゃない仕事がいっぱい増えて、実際稼働時間はあんまり減らないっていう感じですね。
So simply put, because you have advanced in the ranks, not only are you writing, but you have other responsibilities now, so that means you're not doing as much writing, but you're still working just as many hours, right?
後輩たちが非常に頑張っていて、一生懸命背中を押してます。
I mean, my team members are also working really hard, so I'm doing my best to support them.
じゃあ早速内容いってみましょうか。
はい。
Let's get into it. さて、皆さんも心は取られたいところに知ってるんじゃないかと思うんですけども、この時間ではみんなで行月の物語を振り返っていきたいと思います。
So soon you will all be venturing to Turao, but before that I thought we'd take a look back at what happened in Endwalker.
こちらが表題なのですが、
So you might be wondering about this title we have here.
この注釈っていうのはどういうものなのか。
When I say annotated, what does that mean?
こちらがですね、私が普段使っているテキストエディター、ディファルの画面です。
So this is the text editor that I usually use.
いいですよね。これ1日10時間とかこういうの眺めてるんですけど、
It's kind of like unexciting to look at, and I'm staring at this for 10 hours plus a day.
ちょっと小さくて見えないと思うんですけど、表示されているのは行月の序盤、ラジニーとゼットードの姿になってエレンディルを追跡するシーンのテキストです。
The text might be a little small for you to see, but the scene that is being shown right now is when Scions are in Labyrinthos, and several of them have become toads who are pursuing Erisville.
で、注釈っていうのが、
And as for what the annotations are, はい、
この部分ですね。
at these red highlighted portions here.
ここでは、コードになっているアルフィナ大勢が大体どんな内容のことをケロケロしているのかをお伝えしています。
And in this case, these annotations are telling us what Toad Alfino and Toad Alize are actually supposed to be saying.
こういった翻訳者や演劇をする人と認識共有のために書き込んでいる情報を注釈と呼びます。
So what we call annotations are basically notes for the translation team, the animators, other people who need to know, so we can all understand the context of what's going on.
まあ実際その注釈って今なっちゃんが説明してくれたんですけど、簡単に言うと、例えばなっちゃんはメインストーリーライターとして書いてますけど、単純にセリフだけを書いてるわけじゃなくて、例えばこのセリフは実はシェイクスピアの作品の一小節を引用したセリフですみたいな注意書きを翻訳者さんに伝えるために書いたりします。
So yeah, just to supplement here, when we talk about annotations, for example, of course, Natchan is writing the script as the main story writer for a particular section, but she's not just simply writing dialogue in her text. She would make notes about this section actually references Shakespeare's this piece of work, this section, this paragraph, this line, and kind of providing that sort of extra context.
それ以外にも、例えばこのセリフはこういう気持ちで話してますとか、このセリフは実は大昔のパッチ X.X とあの時のセリフを実はオマージュしてますみたいな、そういうメモ、作品の全体クオリティ高く作り上げるためのメモのことが注釈だと思ってもらえればいいかなと思います。
Additionally, whenever there's a certain piece of dialogue that we want to convey a certain emotion, we would note that as well. Or if we want to reference previous patches, for instance, reference like patch X.X, if this was this particular dialogue that happened in the past, and it's sort of paying homage to that, we would note that as well. So it's kind of the process of adding that sort of notes so that we can raise the quality of the dialogue and the writing that we provide.
めちゃくちゃいっぱいあるんですけど、今回はそんな収録の中からいくつかの内容をピックアップして、それで行列を振り返ってみようというパネルになっております。
So as you might guess, there are tons and tons of these annotations, but I've just picked a few today that I thought might be interesting to look at.
では早速、まずは旅の始まりのこのシーンから。Alright, let us begin from the beginning.
じゃあ動画をご覧いただきましょう。
And so let's take a look at the video. Go back, please.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate on the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to love. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step in descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
大きい画面で見るといいですね。
It's really nice to see it on a big screen.
はい、ということで、以上、オールドシャーリアンに向かう船の上で聞くことになるエメト・セルクのナレーションでした。
So this was, of course, Emmett Selk's narration when you are in the boat to Old Charlian.
まずここは最初にして行列の総括みたいな部分なので、ほとんどのように長期注釈をつけていました。
Obviously, this is the very beginning of Endwalker. It's like your first taste. So pretty much all of these lines had some kind of note on them.
その中で、この2箇所に対する注釈の内容をご紹介したいと思います。
But for now, I want to talk about the contents of the notes on these two lines in particular.
まず上の方については、これを喋っているエメト・セルフがどういう状況なのかっていうのを注釈で入れていました。
So on this second line here, I added a note about, alright, so Emmett Selk is narrating, but where is he? How is he doing that?
ウルティマトルに到着した際のナレーションで気づいた方もいらっしゃると思うんですけれども、行列のナレーションはエメト・セルフの正解からの実況中継です。
So you might have noticed this from the narration in Ultima Thule, but Emmett Selk is narrating from the Ethereal Sea.
だから彼が覗き見るないエルピス編だけ実はナレーションがありませんでした。
Which is why, of course, the only section where this formal narration by Emmett Selk doesn't happen is in Elvis.
だから、ただ、覗き見てないとしても、正解で魂が現れたことによって、エルピスでの出来事はしっかり思い出しています。
At this point, when he's in the Ethereal Sea, obviously his soul has been cleansed of the fake memories implanted by Kairos, so he now remembers the truth of the final days.
ちょっと聞いてみたかったんだけど、エメット・セルクって正解からさ、こう、実は昔エルピスであったことがあるって思い出したエメット・セルクが見ながら彼の旅を追ってるのは間違いないんだけど、独り言なのか、隣にヒトロがいる前提で喋ってるのか、あれどっちのつもりで書いたんですか？
One thing I did want to ask you about, when Emmett Selk is kind of doing his narration in the Ethereal Sea, and when he recalls memories from when he was in Elvis, like, and I was wondering, he's narrating this, but then is he kind of revisiting his sort of memories and kind of talking to himself, or is it implied that like Piccolo Deus was like with him and he's kind of talking to him?
基本は演劇好きの彼が演劇好きなりにつらつらと自分の心の中で思っていることなんですけれども、
Well, for the most part, right, Emmett Selk is a very theatrical character, so in a theatrical fashion, he's sort of soliloquizing.
途中でヒトロダイオスがブリアートの魂から解放されて合流してからは一緒に喋ってます。
But after the point that, we sort of have Hippodeus reunite soul-wise, then they can sort of start speaking with one another.
解釈があっててよかっ
Oh, I'm glad my interpretation is right.
た。はい、すいません。
Okay, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt there. ごゆっくりください。
はい。
で、また、日本語では私たちとなっていますが、これは同じく生態から育成を見守っているベーネスのことになります。Right, so one of the ways that this situation is communicated in Japanese is that in Japanese it has the word we in it. And there was a note that this is referring to Vana, who is also in the ethereal sea. So you have this idea that they're both there together. で、私が書いたその注釈を受けて、直接 we と言っていない英語でもある工夫がされています。Of course, English did not use the we directly, but instead played on this note that we were given. じゃあせっかくなんでケイトさん説明お願いしていいですか？ Can you explain that to us, Kate? Yes, I can. Okay, so there are a couple things going on here. So for one thing, the we in Japanese is incorporated in this very nice way where you realize that he's saying like, oh, the we of us now, sort of like he's in this separate location, but we were afraid that if we stuck that into the English without like a really long explanation, it would sound like, yeah, we don't know what the future is. It's like, are you my friend now? Like, what do you do? It would be very out of character for MSL. So instead we took this thing that if you were designed to understand the Vana is there later, but not at this point. At this point you're just supposed to be like, huh, that's interesting. So what we did is we instead incorporated that nuance into the entirety of the speech. So, hi. So if you look at these middle lines here, you can see that some phrasings are a bit more Vana-like, and some of them will be echoed in her later lines. So when you look at this scene in retrospect, you can tell, okay, he's not only speaking for himself, for all of the Asians. ありがとうございます。つまり、続くセリフをベーレスっぽい言い回しを入れるっていう形で対応してくれているということですね。では、次に、このブロックの最後のセリフを見ていきましょう。Now let's look at this very last line here. ここは週末の経緯も思い出しているイメージセルフの言葉なので、このセリフも2つの意味を持っています。Given that this is the end itself to know the truth of the final days, this line actually has two meanings. 1つ目の意味は読んで字の通り。The first is probably what you would immediately guess from reading it. 正解の最奥で全てを知っているハイデリンが待っているぞということです。In the depths of the stars, the ethereal sea, Heidelin, who knows all, is waiting for you. もう一つの意味、もう一つの星と命の沈む海底は、絶望のうちに死んだ生命だし、星の残骸が漂う宇宙のことです。But the other part of the depths here is actually at the very end of the universe, where all of the fallen civilizations and their stars are resting. その果てに宇宙の果てに待っているのは地球と星々が終わることに希望を求めたという真実。And the truth that awaits there is the truth of all of these stars that have fallen, the end of everything. 彼らの思いを引き受けてしまった終焉を歌うものが待っているぞということでした。In other words, what awaits you there is the entity that has taken on all of these feelings from these dead worlds, the end singer.
だからまあ今回のストーリー、作っていく上ではやっぱり結末がしっかりある程度見えている状態、プロットが書き上がっている状態からテキストを起こしていくからこそ、その2つの意味をちゃんと一番最初のテキストに込められるっていうことだよね。
So yeah, because we are thinking about our story, we would build a plot line first before we actually do the deeper writing into it, and we already have this end in sight, and we have decided on how it would pan out. We were able to know ahead of time to make sure that we are incorporating that sort of twofold meaning.
だから実際こういう注釈っていうのが細かくあればあるほどお互いの意思疎通ができてクオリティが上がるんだけど、注釈がないただの文章だけでやっぱり見てしまうと何のことを言ってるのかがやっぱりさっぱりわからないまま翻訳するっていうことになっちゃうので、とても重要ですねやっぱり。
And of course, with these notes, I think the more we provide context for the localization team, it clearly indicates the intention behind the writers, the main scenario writers, and it really kind of brushes up the quality. It makes it just so much better to have that sort of synergy. So, and plus, just looking at a set of like string of text, it makes it difficult to understand like where a person is coming from and what is being trying to be conveyed.
まあちょうど今上月の始まりと終わりの話が出たので繋いじゃいますけど、上月は本当に前々から月に行くとは言ってたけど、まさか宇宙まで行くことになるとはっていう感じでしたね。
I mean, we're sort of talking about it now, going to the end of the universe and getting to this point, and really, it was a long journey.
まあそうですね。まあ毎回ね公演ファンフェスでこう話すって大概ね、ここに行くぞって言ってからその先がみたいなのが毎回多いじゃない。アラミコ行くぞって言って東も行ったりとか。
For sure, and it's interesting because with every keynote that we do, we would mention this is our next destination, this is where the next adventure is going to take place, and we actually have something else that's in store. For example, when we did Stormblood, we were talking about we're heading to Alamigo, but we actually were also going to the Hingashi realm as well.
まあだからレベル83ぐらいでもう月行ってるもんね。
And I mean, it was kind of early on, like level 83-ish, when we were already at the moon.
月行っちゃったらその先まで行くしかないって感じでしたもんね。
I mean, after we left the moon, we were like, well, now we gotta go even further, I think.
まあこの後どうするかね。マルチバースだって言っとけば大丈夫かな。
I mean, I don't know what we would do beyond here. Maybe we can all explain it away as like a multiverse or something.
みんなだって嫌でしょ、急に14がマルチバースになったら。
No, then we'd cause problems for everybody in the audience if we just were like, oh, it's a multiverse.
まあでもほら共同世界がもうすでにそんなようなもんだからさ。
But I mean, we have our different shards and the realms.
じゃあまあ冒険の舞台はまだまだいっぱいあるぞということで。
ありますね。
Well, in other words, we definitely have a lot of places our adventure can still take us.
Yep, for sure. じゃあ、はい、すいません、パネルの内容に戻りたいと思います。
はい。
Let's bring it back around a little bit.
さて、次はちょっとまた違う種類の注釈について。
Alright, I'm going to talk about a different kind of annotation here.
全く別のところに書かれているセリフを踏襲していますよという内容で注釈を入れたところをいくつか紹介したいと思います。
And these are some sections where I had annotations to the effect of we are referencing a line from another place.
さっきのナレーションに引き続きエメトセルフのところから。
So continuing on from our theme, we have some Emmett Self here.
こちらはウルティマツーレに花をわさーっと咲かせた後に彼と別れる間際のやりとりになります。
So this is in Ultima Thule after all the flowers are blooming, and this is when you are saying your goodbyes.
注釈を入れていたのは後半の2つ。
Okay, so as far as the annotations, there are two for the end here.
これが何を踏襲していたかというと、
and about what?
漆黒秘話、四国の方ですね。の第7話、消えゆくハーデスの語りです。
So you may or may not remember, but the seventh Tales from the Shadows was about Hades.
秘話のこのハーデスの最後の語りはシェイクスピアのテンペストのエピローグから来ています。
And there is a very distinctive part in that short story that is very strongly referencing Shakespeare's The Tempest.
なので、上月のエメトセルフとの別れもその内容をちょっと踏まえた言い回しになっています。
And thus, he is using a very theatrical and somewhat similar thought pattern here at the end of Endwalker.
エメトセルフ周りにはちょいちょいシェイクスピアをお借りしているんだけど、これには2つ理由があって、
actually, Emmett Self tends to use a lot of Shakespearean ideas or references, and there's a couple reasons for that.
一つが松野康美さんがリターントイバリースの際につけたソルテイは演劇が好きという設定があったから。
The first is the setting that was developed during Return to Ivalice, which is that the Solis family really enjoys theater.
あとは浩二さんが主題歌とかいろんな歌詞にシェイクスピアの表現を取り入れることが大好きなので、そこから決めました。
The other one is the fact that Koji in his song lyrics and whatever else he's doing just loves to reference Shakespeare.
So it bled over into this.
ただなんかそこは結構ケイトさん苦労してるらしいので、明日のパネルで戦ってください。
Yes, that does cause some trouble for the other translators, so we may speak about that at the panel tomorrow.
当時シェイクスピア好きよね。
Yeah, Polish for sure likes Shakespeare a lot.
さっき楽屋で高校生の頃は嫌いだったからだけど、今は好きだからもっと勉強しとけばよかったなって思ってるって言ってました。
Yeah, we were talking in the break room earlier, and he said, no, actually in high school I hated Shakespeare, but now, these days, I've developed an appreciation, so I continue to study it.
はい、ということで、もう一つ、希望を受けたセリフですという一冊を紹介したいと思います。
So, and then here's another reference to the short story.
こちらですね。ストルダイウスが語る、アテムの、相変わらずなエピソード。
So yes, this is the very representative of Azem episode that Hippolytus is relaying.
こちらは漆黒秘話の第7話に登場したエピソードでした。
This also appeared in the Seven Tales from the Shadows.
ブドウのために火山に突撃する話だったんですけど、今日はもう皆さんもブドウを持っているんじゃないかと思います。
Yes, I mean, this was a tale of Azem going to great lengths, even to jumping into a volcano for some grapes. So be grateful for your own grapes that you have right now.
ちなみにローポリブドウ、結構開発チーム、みんながね、言ってくれるから開発チームでも結構人気になってまして、
those grapes are actually really popular with the dev team as well.
アーティストさんが、北米から持って帰ってきてほしい、トランクに詰めて持って帰ってきてほしいって言っていたので、ちょっと後で相談したいと思います。
So some of the artists and other people would really like us to take some Minus balls. They were so well recreated. Yeah, so they would like us to pack some up and bring them back in our suitcases apparently, so we're going to have a chat about that later. I fear for my life. Okay.
いや、ローポリブドウね、ローポリゴンのブドウはさ、特にね、海外のね、光の選手の皆さんがね、面白いって言ってくれたから良かったようなものの、
Of course, those low-quality grapes, I mean, I'm thankful that the players actually took it with a grain of salt. They had such wonderful humor, and they realized, oh, this is cool, this is neat, and they picked it up, like, they were curious about it.
本当はダメだから。
Yeah, that would probably be unacceptable from a game developer perspective.
光の選手の皆さんがね、優しくてよかった。
I'm so glad that the Warriors of Light were so kind to the...
Thank you.
Thank you. じゃあ、ぶどうの話はちょっと置いておいて、
Alright, so setting the grapes aside for just a few minutes.
じゃあ続きもう一個、秘話を受けているところをご紹介したいと思います。
Okay, just one more reference to a short story here.
こっちは、ここに今映ってるのは、ウルティマツーレスに旅立つ直前、大繁盛商店の開店を待つ間にビックスたちが雑談をするところです。
So this is the part before you depart for Ultima Thule, where you are speaking with Biggs and Wedge in front of Tataro's boutique.
彼らは天の果てに旅立つ光の戦士にこんなことを言っています。
And to the warrior of light who is about to set off on this journey across the universe, this is what they have to say.
さて、これに何で返しましょうか。
What is this referring back to?
どっちにします
？Which would you choose?
どっちでもお好みでいいのですが、秘話を受けていたのが上の方。
It's fine to choose whatever dialogue option you like, but of course the top one is a reference.
これは、第8連載の作でビックス3世がグラハにかけられていた言葉と重なっています。
So these are actually the words of Grahatia during the 8th Umbral Calamity.
漆黒秘話の第8話ですね。
In the 8th Tales from the Shadows.
これはしれっと入れていたので、多くの方が特に意識せずに選んだのではないかなと思います。
I feel like a lot of people probably chose this option not even realizing it was a reference.
意図せずに光の戦士が発した言葉がたまたま未来にビックスがかけられた言葉と同じだったという状況が生じることを私が見てびっくりするための仕掛けです。
Personally, I put this in there because it really entertained me, the thought of Warrior of Light not knowing what they're doing, essentially saying the exact same thing that Graha would say in the future to the Biggs. せっかくの話が出たのでちょっと続けてみると、since we are on the subject of Grahatia, さっきのちょっと話題に出た漆黒岩第8話といえば、イックスたちが夢や希望を星の、夢や希望を星の輝きに例えていました。So in that 8th short story, the Biggs and everybody are sort of likening dreams and hopes to the shining of the stars. 彼らと行動を共にしたグラハもその例えが好きな様子です。And actually, Grahatia, who did work with them, also really likes that metaphor. このセリフを筆頭に何度か使っています。And that is used many times in his lines. それを念頭に置きつつ、お次はグラハとある人物の対比について見ていきましょう。So while we have that in mind, let's look into a contrasting pair that has been made between Grahatia and another character. こちらは行月の終盤、エーテルスカイラの改良を進める中で、イクスアダマントを開発したのアモンだったんだという話をしているシーンです。So this is getting towards the end when you need to ensure that the Aether Burner will be working, and you find out that it was actually Amon that invented the refined adamantite. エクスアダマントによって遠くの星に到達できるといいなという内容ですが、so basically, of course, what Grahatia is expressing here is it would be great if we could use that same adamantite to reach the stars. そこの星っていうのはやっぱり希望という意味がかけられています。But for Grahatia, stars mean hope itself. 開発者であるアモンが聞いたらめちゃくちゃ嫌がりそうですよね。Like, you know, Amon who invented this stuff, he probably really would not like that way of thinking. 彼とグラハは共にあらず文明が残したものという立場でありながら正反対を向いてもいます。Grahatia and Amon are in some ways both responsible for carrying Allegan culture into the future, right? But they have very different viewpoints. なので対比させて書いているセリフも多くて、それについていくつか注釈を入れていました。And for that reason, I wrote a lot of lines that sort of made them a contrasting pair, and I'd like to introduce a couple of them. 例えばこちら。This one. 正解の対応で、アモンの魂と決着をつけた先のこと。So this is in the Imperial Sea when you have overcome the soul of Amon in your grand battle. 彼はヘルメスとしての曲をこんな風に感じていると言っていました。And this is what he has to say about his memories of his time with her. さて、それがグラハの何と通になっていたのかというと、こちらです。What Graha line is this fantasy center?
ごめんなさい。
We have a video.
じゃあここ もう真剣にクイックをあなたのこうセリフに合わせてやることに集中してたら動画だったっていう。
I'm so fixated and concentrating on click next. I forgot that this was going to be a video. Let us play back the video.
じゃあ動画お願いします。
Yours is a long road, my friends, and it stretches into places beyond imagining. With your every step, these grand adventures shall grow more distant than fate. And there may come a day when you forget the faces and voices of those you have met along the way. On that day, I bid you remember this. That no matter how far your journey may take you, you stand where you stand by virtue of the road you walked to get there.
はい、ということで、8号店さんのグラハを起こしに行く際のモノローグでした。 This is, of course, Grahachia's monologue in 5.3.
とてもいいシーンでしたね。僕も調整チェック中に何回か流されてるんで、ここ。
This was such a good scene. Every time I needed to review it during the producer director checks, I always got teary-eyed.
ゴーテンさんはちょうどコロナが世界的パンデミックになってきた時に制作していました。
Yeah, and 5.3 was exactly in the middle of the pandemic when we were trying to make this anyway.
残念ですね。吉田さんの泣いているシーンは見れなかった。
So I'm kind of disappointed because we weren't in the office and I couldn't see Yoshi P crying at this.
そうか。あれ、あの頃って在宅だった。
Were we already switched to work from home?
いや、私だって吉田さんが最初に在宅辞めて、私2番目なので、そんなに合わなかったと思うんですけど。
だからできるだけ合わないようにしてた。
そう。
So, I mean, Yoshi P, you went back to the office earlier than I did, and then I was second, so I think I just missed it.
I guess I was avoiding just running into people, that's what it is.
残念でしたね。見たかったですね。
What a shame, I wanted to see that.
いやいや、いいよ。
No.
3年。3 years ago now? 早い頃ですね。
まあでも、あれね。
That was fast.
明けない夜はない。希望は必ずあるみたいな話だよね。3年経って今。
But yeah, there is no night that will dawn to a new day. So yeah, I mean, even 3 years since then, it's still a very clear memory.
だって皆さんともね、またこうやって直接会えるようになったんで。
And yeah, we were able to get over it, and we were able to come here and join together live in person.
いきますか、じゃあ次。
はい、じゃあ、
で、
改めて。
ここを改めて見るとってことですね。
はい、改めて見てみます。
Alright, so let's take a look at these again together.
つまり、アモンもグラハもお互いに声の顔も思い出せなくなるような遠い記憶について話しています。
So both of them are talking about when the memories that you have become so far away and disconnected.
グラハ推奨法は、こうやって記憶が薄れたとしても、すべての出来事は今日のあなたに続いていると言っています。
However, Grahatia, the Crystal Exarch, believes that even when your memories become faint and they start to become lost to you, all of the stuff that happened to you is still a part of you.
じゃあ、アモンは何と言っていたか。
But what about
さっきの彼の最後のシーンに戻ってみると、
if we return to his final scene here,
つながってるのか畜生と言っているんですね。
he is very frustrated at the idea even that these old memories might still be connected.
二人の主張はどちらでも間違いではなくて、それぞれの視点から見て正しいものだと思います。
Neither of them are really mistaken, it's just that they're looking at this from very different perspectives.
ただ、アモンは関係ないって言ってるけれども、やっぱりヘルメスの記憶を知ったからこそ考えたこともあると私は思うんです。
But personally, I think that no matter how much Amon wants to believe that Hermes' memories are unrelated to what he's doing, they did in some way influence even this very thought pattern.
アーテリスに終末を引き起こす計画も、そうじゃなかったらそもそも立てられなかったはずなので。
For instance, why would he have ended up wanting to destroy Theris if he hadn't had some sort of influence from those memories?
彼自身もそれは分かってないわけではないと思います。
I think even he understands that on some level.
こちらはサデニア島での独り言。
This is when Daniel is talking to himself in Thavnir.
こんな風に感じていながらも、この心もこの判断も自分だけのものだと叫んでいたんだと思います。
Well, this is while he was sort of feeling internally that he actually could not escape those memories, and he really still wants to assert, though, that he is an individual despite that.
ちなみに、この魂の将軍という話も、さっきのエクスアダマントのところでグラハが指摘しています。
This similar talk of souls that Daniel is doing actually does appear in Raha's speeches as well.
アモンにとってみては、自分で言うのすら忌々しいのにグラハに指摘される尺だろうなって思います。
I mean, it's a bit weird of me to say this, but I really felt that this line of Nahas was moving. はい、ということで、アラグな2人の対比を見てみたんですけれども、okay, so we've looked at some of these comparisons of the アラグ帝国の全容もいつかみんなに書き換えてみたいよねでたびたび話題に上がりますよね、吉田さん。And honestly, you know, they're all really Alec related, and it makes me wonder, when are we going to get to learn the whole story of the Allegan Empire? 吉田さん。
日本の光の天使の間では、ファイナルファンタジー14のストーリー上でなんか厄介なことがあると、まあ、大体アラグのせいっていうミームがあるんですけど。
So amongst the Japanese players, whenever there's some inconvenience or something that story-wise, there's some kind of snag that we hit, we have a tendency to ignore or explain it away. Like, oh, it's probably those darn Allegan culture, or the Allegan, old Allegan in the Allegan Empire.
なんか、一斉ではない何かがあるとアラグのせいにすればいいみたいな、そういうミームみたいなのないんですね。
I'm wondering, are there memes in North America as well? Like, we kind of blame it on the Allegans? Yeah.
ああ、結構ある。いや、その、ファイナルファンタジー14を通して、至るところにこう、アラグ帝国の痕跡があるみたいな。
So of course, yeah, when you look at different aspects within Final Fantasy XIV, you do see elements that kind of refer to like the remains of Allegan technology, Alleg, whatnot.
だから、ノアも含めて、結構ちゃんとエピソード実はね、作られてるところがめちゃくちゃ多いんだよね。
So, we actually do have like different background stories, including some parts of the lore that have described those different episodes that relate to those elements, those Allegan elements.
だから、いつかね、アラグがメインになる、なんかね、拡張はやりたいな、みたいな気はあるんですよ。
And of course, I would love to eventually have an expansion pack that's kind of dedicated to delving into the different elements of the Allegan Empire.
みんな聞いた？みんな聞いた？今の覚えておいてね。You heard that. You heard that. Remember that.
でもね、みんなね、またアラグかって言うと思うんだよね。
But that said, I'm sure people will kind of think about, well, really the Allegans? We're going to talk about the Allegans again?
まあ、なっちゃんが書くんだったら考えてもいいよ。
But, Natchan, if you're willing to write the story for this, I can definitely consider it. 私が後輩を育てた意味とは一体何だったのか。Oh, I don't know about that. まあでも私ね、最近ディープダンジョン、オルドレイ映画でアラグの話を書かせていただきました。I mean, I did write some Allegan stuff in the most recent Deep Dungeon. ストーリー自体はすごく短いんですけれども、クリアした後に、ちょっとボスの説明とかを聞くことができてですね、そこで、アラグ側から見た見解ってどうだったのかなっていうのをちょっと垣間見ることができるので、またの方はぜひ遊んでみてください。And while the story for that was short, I did think after you beat the boss, you get a lot of explanation, and that's all Alleg from an Allegan's perspective. So I thought that was interesting, and you should check it out if you're interested.
まあでも、アラグ帝国が全盛期だった時代に何が起こったのかっていうのは、プレイヤーの皆さんもなんとなくね、ワーブックも含めて断片的には知ってると思うんですけど、あれを全部繋いだらね、めちゃくちゃ面白いと実は思ってるんで、まあ、何かしら考えたいなと思ってます。はい。
For sure, Eureka Orthos included the different aspects that we have been depicting about the Allegan Empire have been sort of explained like bits and pieces. You may have noticed some descriptions written in the lore book as well, and I feel that if we kind of string them together and kind of weave a story, it would come out to be a very interesting story.
ちょっとね、この話続けると未来の開発チームが困る気がするのでパネルに戻りましょうか。Okay, if we continue on this train, the dev team is going to be in trouble. So let's return to our main subject.
さて、先ほどはムラハとアモンに対する、ムラハとアモンの対比にまつわる注釈を見ていたんですけれども、もう一対対比になっていますという注釈が入っている人たちがいました。
So we were talking before about these lines upon which I made notes about sea contrast, but here is another pair of characters about which I made the note that they are contrasts.
彼、
I was in game. I started making
So in this case, not Amon, but Hermes.
almost
彼のツメレとも言えるこのセリフ。
And this
It's
really
cool too because
basically tells you all of Hermes' character, this particular line.
items for that
それの杖になっていたのが、さて何だったのか。
So what sort of stands in contrast to this line?
じゃあ、
or no, it's not 20.
動画で
It's not $20 right there.
Ooh, let's check out that answer via a video. Can we play back the video, please?
Kind of easy to get back.
Hey, wait! I'm gonna show you something. That gives the SpongeBob Bagel Blaster.
And they will tell you what since then,
Show you later. Look at
and they will be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found, and to persist, your existence must be gleaned by you, you alone.
はい、ということで、通じなっていたのはゼノスのセリフでした。
And that was Xenos.
あら、ゼノス人気高いな。
I'm surprised that Xenos is popular amongst the
ゼノ
crowd.
ス好きだ。
あらら。
Oh,
あり
glad
が
you
とうござ
like
い
him.
ます。
ありがとうございます。Thank you.
では、今のが光の天使がエルピスから帰った後、週末に見舞われたマグナグラケースで再会した時のセリフでした。
So this is when the Warrior of Light has returned from Elpis and has met everyone on the Manga Glaciers.
ゼノスといえば、登場からずっと自分勝手で自己中心的な人物です。
Well, when I think about Xenos, I think about how from his very first appearance, he's always been focused solely on his own ends.
ただ、悩みのヘルメスの後に見ると、これもある種の答え、強さなんだなっていうのを改めて感じます。
But when you sort of look back at Xenos after hearing Hermes' reflections, you see that perhaps this is one way to answer Hermes' question, and it is a strong answer in its own way.
まあこれで周りをめちゃくちゃ怒らせるし、アリゼにボロクソに言われるんですけどね。
Of course, immediately after that, he gets told off by Alize, but
でも、なんだろう、このヘルメスとゼノスのセリフの対比は、多分プレイヤーの皆さんでもめちゃめちゃ気づいてるのが良かったんじゃないかな。
I do want to chime in here on this dialogue here with that contrast between Hermes and Xenos. I'm sure a lot of players have taken notice of this.
僕よくその日本だけじゃなくて、全世界の光の選手の皆さん、ファンの皆さん、Twitter とか SNS 見て、どう解釈してるのかなっていうのをよくサーチするんですけど、僕はね、多分一番多かった。
So yeah, sometimes I look on social media to see what kind of interpretations our Warriors of Light make on like Twitter or other social channels, and it was interesting because I did notice that a lot of fans have kind of noticed this contrast and they've pointed it out.
なんかこう、そんな質問をね、自分じゃないやつに答えを求めたって、その誰かの理屈しか返ってこないやつがゼノスが言うわけじゃないですかね。
So basically, Xenos is saying, well, you are you're trying to get answers from somebody that's not you, but that's somebody else's thinking.
なんかそれを逆にこうヘルメスに、だからヘルメスはダメだったんだよって言ってる人が結構多くて。
So taking that in mind, people started to kind of point at Hermes, saying, well, that's why you didn't succeed because you didn't search for the answer yourself.
いいシーンだと思いました。
But it was such a great scene here.
まあね、難しいですよね。でもゼノスの生き方も多分やり方によってはすごい強いけど、やっぱり 周りを怒らせたり嫌われたり、アリゼが言ってた通り、だからお前はいつまでも一人なんだよってところだと思うんですよね。
I mean, it's kind of difficult because, yes, you can look at Xenos and how he lives as a very strong way to live, but also you have to think about what Alize said, and like, this is why people are angry at Xenos, this is why he's always alone.
そのあたりは皆さんにも何か考えてみてもらえればなと思って、ちょっとわかりやすいところにこれの対比を近い位置に置いていました。
So I put these two things together to really provoke you all to think about it.
でもなんかこう、みんながみんなさ、自分一人で答え出せるわけじゃないから、だからこそ誰かに頼りたくなるし、でもだからこそ仲間や友達がいるっていうのも事実だから、なんかどっちが正しくてどっちが間違ってるじゃそこはないんだよね。時の場合によるんだよね。
And of course, there are people who try to search for the answer but are unable to, and so they might have to lean on somebody. But you know, and you have friends for that, and you have your support. So it's not about like what's right or what's wrong.
逆にヘルメスの方が人間臭いなと思う。
So in that aspect, I feel Hermes is more like very down to earth and human.
ちょうどなんかソケンさんも俺こんなハッピーな曲書いたことないよ 7.0 のオープニングってずっと他人に答えを求めてました。
Yes, even Soken, the legendary Soken, was just asking all of us, like, are you sure the song I wrote isn't too happy? Like, even he wants that support from around him.
みんな大丈夫だから、ソケンさん大丈夫だからって言ってて、今日皆さんにボーって言ってもらえたので、多分ソケンさんは答えを得たと思います。
But we all told him it was great, and you all cheered so much today, so we think he found his own answer there.
まあ、ちなみに、光の戦士の夏休みだから振り切っていこうって言って、ほんとね、俺こんなハッピーな曲書いたことないって言いながら、途中でギターギャーって鳴ってるの分かりますよね、でも。
And by the way, we were mentioning about how this is going to be like a summer vacation for our Warriors of Light. So we tried to swing all the way to in that direction as possible. So while Soken was kind of whining about, well, I've never written a happy song like this, you know, you can hear the guitar, like just how happy the guitar is in that riff.
ちなみにね、最後の方、シャウトがブワーって入ってますけど、誰がシャウトしてるか分かります？
Oh, and there was a section where there was like some kind of shouting in there. And I want y'all to guess who did the shouting in that song.
ああ、なるほど。本人の名誉のため黙っておこう。
Oh, actually, I'm going to keep it quiet because just to preserve his dignity.
でもね、
もう遅いよ。
too late.
Too late? It's too late. Oh.
ホテルに戻ってね、もうオフィシャルに上がってるから、見てね、聞いてもらえばすぐわかる。
But once you return to your hotel rooms, the trailer should be up on YouTube. You can look it up and make sure to listen to it. And I'm sure you'll be able to tell who it is once you listen to it.
まあね、そんな風にソケンさんでも周りに答えを求めている日があるという余談。これソケンさんにはないですよね。多分今聞いてないから。
So yeah, even Soken has those days where he's really looking for those answers. Maybe don't tell him that we told you all of this.
はい、ちょっとだいぶそれちゃったので、
はい、
ちょっとこっちのシーンの話に戻すんですけども、実はこのシーンですね、ゼノスの言葉を聞いた光の戦士が本当に珍しくゼノスに対して険しくない表情をしています。
So right, returning to this scene, you will notice that the Warrior of Light, in a very rare move, is not giving Xenos a very stern glare in response. This is a completely different reaction.
こういうハッとした表情ですね。
This is what your look of surprise.
まあ一方で、ゼノスはいつも通り自分の主張をベラベラしてるだけなので、ハッとされてることに気づいてさえいない。
On the other hand, Xenos is just talking and going on the way he normally does, and it doesn't seem like he's even noticed the surprise reaction he's getting.
もしここで光の戦士がなんかいつもと違う反応してるなっていうことに気づいて、この会話を掘り下げてたら何か違う未来があったかもしれません。
I wonder if Xenos had noticed that the Warrior of Light was reacting in this way and had sort of dug into that a bit, if the ending would have been different.
とはいえ、ゼノ だったらまあ100回やっても100回気づかないんじゃないかなと私は思いますけど。Though I also think that even if you did this 100 times in front of Xenos, you probably would not notice.
いやー、なんかこう、ゼノスの言葉とか、ゼノスとプレイヤーの皆さんがこう、相対した場合に、まあ、プレイヤーの皆さんのキャラクターに、どんな表情をさせようかとか、どんな演技をさせようかっていうのは、何年にもわたってめちゃくちゃ悩んできたポイントです、実は。
So with these words being spoken, as well as that sort of facing the character and Warrior of Light, and the Warrior of Light is of course the players themselves, so it's always a challenge to kind of figure out how do we make the character react, like what kind of facial expression should we have, and what kind of movement or mannerisms we would have to have our players take, and that has been a challenge for many years.
プレイヤーの皆さん、モンティンの場合は主人公はプレイヤーの皆さん自身、そのキャラクターがやっぱり主人公なので、こうゼノスが大好きだって思う人もいれば、こいつはもう許せない、絶対に嫌いだっていう人もいるので。
And again, because the player is the hero or the main protagonist of Final Fantasy XIV, and it is your character that is being depicted there. So, of course, we have people who love Xenos, and then those people who can't stand him, who can't forgive him for what he's done.
そう、ここでバランス取るのが、どっちとも取れるこう仕草をするとか表情をするっていうので、めちゃくちゃ調整してきた。
And just trying to strike a good balance to make sure that we're accommodating for those in both ends of the spectrum, we would really have to be careful to have the expression and the different sort of emotions be interpreted in the appropriate way, or it can be like made enough so that you can interpret it in the way you had imagined it. And so it's something that we're very careful about.
でもまあ、ここのハッとするぐらいだったらね、好きでも嫌いでも関係ないからね。
And so, with this sort of look of bewilderment, I think you can take it in any way you can, I think.
そう、この歯の意味は、あえて比較どうとも取らせないような塩梅をすごい調整して入れてもらったところですね。
Yeah, this expression of surprise is supposed to be very open to interpretation.
あれ、まあ 6.0 じゃなく 6.x シリーズですね。ちょっと友っていうキーワードに反応する光の戦士のシーンが、まあ、あるんですけど、あそこでめちゃめちゃ調整したもん、かったし。
Yeah, sorry, it goes beyond 6.0, but there is a scene in the 6.x patch series where Xenos would mention a friend, and you would have the Warrior of Light kind of react to that. But that was also a challenge for us to get the expression just right.
まあ、せっかくだから、そのゼノス、ずいぶん長く登場したキャラになったんで、少しなんかエピソードがあれば、ゼノスについて話をしますね。もう機会がなさそうだから。
そうね。You know, with Xenos being such a recurring character, and he's been around for a while at this point, like I wish there was an opportunity to kind of delve more into it. So you want to just dive into that?
そうですね。懐かしいもんね、この
懐かしいよな。
Oh, I look back fondly on this old Xenos.
いや、
ありがとう、かっこいいって言ってくれた。
Thank you, he is cool.
ちなみに、なっちゃん個人としては、ゼノスっていうキャラクターって、身近にいたらよ、割とありなの、なしなの、どっちなキャラですか？
So by the way, Natchan, if you personally would meet Xenos, like as somebody as like your acquaintance, like what is your sort of impression of him?
全てのキャラクターはやっぱり自分が書く以上、やっぱり自分に全く被らないものって出ないんですよ。
I mean, I think all characters, because I'm writing them, there's none of them that are going to be exactly the same as me.
だからその全く分かんないやつってことは絶対になくって、私はゼノスの気持ちも分かるし、ゼノスの主張っていうのも結構自分の主張と 近いなって思うところがありはするんですけど、though at the same time, obviously it's coming from me, so a lot of my own thoughts and feelings are also reflected in there. それが第三者として近くにいたら、自己嫌悪とか同族嫌悪でどうだろうなっていうところ。If it was more of a detached relationship and I met him, I'm really not sure how I would feel. 吉田さん、ジェノスで好きなシーンとかって何かありますか？
好きなシーン、めちゃくちゃ俺多分一番ゼロスにこだわったんだよな。
My favorite scene of Xenos? Like, so many that, like, when Xenos kind of challenges the warriors.
いっぱい作ったけど、やっぱ最後は、あれかな。マリーンって出てくるところかな。最後、乗ってセロの終盤。
I think the one that comes to me at the top of my head is when he kind of breaks in towards the end of the 6.0 main scenario and just appears as we're leading into that end singer battle.
終焉をターモの戦う直前ですね。
This is pretty much right before we fight the end singer.
多分誰もがね、あの局面で、暁のメンバーも全員逃がしちゃって、これどうすんだろうって思ったはずなんですけど。
I'm sure everybody was wondering, wait, the Scions are just letting him go?
で、そしたらガラスをぶち割るような音がし始めて、飛び出してくるシステムっていう。なんだろう、状況をめちゃくちゃな勢いでひっくり返す、壊すみたいな、そこがやっぱり全部すごいなと思って、あそこが自信がある。
And so people are kind of wondering what's going to happen, and Xenos is in his dragon form at this point, and he just kind of breaks through, like, the speed of light even. And so I think it's just so characteristic of Xenos that he's able to kind of just break all logic and just appear, and it's very much like him to do that.
でもあそこのシーンはセリフ書くの相当苦労した場所でもあるんですよ。
But at the same time, I'm sure it was a challenge to write the dialogue there too.
何をどこまで説明するか、ジェノスが来た経緯っていうのをどこまで説明するかについては吉田さんとかなり綿密に打ち合わせをしました。
Yeah, actually, like the part we had a really hard time deciding, and I had to talk to Yoshida-san a lot about, was how much to explain how he got here.
で、いきなりぶち破ってきてね、ずーっとさ、俺はなぜここに来れたか、お前たちはわかるかってずーっと説明したら変だもんね、だってね。
Yeah, of course, you wouldn't want to have him kind of break this barrier and then start explaining, do you know how I got through here? And, start exposition.
だからちょっと説明不足気味ではあるし、あるんだけれども、
I mean, it is a little low on the explanation side for my taste, but
ゼノスの思いと思いが力になる世界っていうことであれば、光すら超えて俺は来たっていう、もうそれだけでもうゼノスはいいのかなって思ってました。
But then again, we are in a space where emotions are reality, and you can think about what Xenos is emotionally fixated on. It's not really surprising that he's like, oh, I wrote the Legend of the Stars here, and now I'm here.
現実のね、世界には物理法則としてね、かの天才のアインシュタインが、高速の無限の定理っていうのがあるんですけど、
we have the laws of physics discovered by Einstein.
ゼノス、空間では思いが全てなので、光すら追い抜くことがたやすかったぞっていう、一言でもうあと済ませるっていうね。
But yeah, Xenos just kind of breaks that even logic, and then just he can surpass the speed of light.
でも、あそこもやっぱりさっきのゼノスが好きだって言ってくださる方と、こいつなんて本当にうんざりだっていう人の両方でも、あの局面は竜の背に乗って戦うしかないので、ただお互いに パーティーを組んで共闘してるわけじゃないっていうのをどうやって演出しようかっていうので、あそこもめちゃくちゃ大変だった。
And I know we earlier touched upon those people who love Xenos, but then those who can't stand him. And we were very careful about taking into consideration both ends of the spectrum. So when we had kind of the Warrior of Light jump onto Shinryu or Xenos in its dragon form and fighting, it was a challenge for us to make sure that it doesn't look like they've kind of buddied up and got into a party and started fighting.
まあだからあの時のウォリアー・オブ・ライト光の戦士はゼロスの力なんか借りて戦うつもりはないけど、とりあえず終焉を歌うものを倒すために足場がないから仕方ないからもう足場として使おうっていう考え方だし。
So yeah, when we're looking at it from the Warrior of Light's perspective, he doesn't want to get Xenos' help, but then the only way he can regen Slinger is to utilize Xenos in his dragon form as his sort of platform.
ゼロスはゼロスでね、お前と戦うために来たんだからさっさとあいつ倒せよって、仕方ないな、俺がバトルフィールドやってやるよっていう。
And Xenos is Xenos. Xenos wants to just fight with his friend and have that sort of challenge match go on. So he just wants Warrior of Light to finish fighting and then defeating the Endslinger. So fine, I'll be the platform on which you will fight.
でもそれってすごい大事で、こういう意味、こういう意図でやってるからこそ、ゼノスって他の星々がどう絶望してようが絶望しない。
It's possible, like that was very important, that sort of not quite friendly, sort of one very determined perspective. It's possible because this is approaching it from that he was completely invulnerable to the despair that everyone else was falling into.
結果的にだから勝てた。まあコンビと言っていいのかわからないけれども、嫌ながらというか、意図してない仲間ではない共闘がなかったら勝てなかったんじゃないかなって私は思います。
It's possible if they had more of a friendly relationship there, it would not have worked for defeating the Endslinger.
まあ一応それにまつわるセリフとしてはね、ベーレスのセリフに、そのアゼムのクリスタルを持っていた元の持ち主は、こう言っていたわよっていうセリフで、まあ本当にやばい、どうにもならない状況を打ち破るときは、そのクリスタルで呼ばないもの、何かがそれを打ち破ってくれるって言い残してたから、それにばっかり頼るんじゃないよ的な話がある。まあそれがまさにあのシーン。
And there was additional dialogue that kind of supports that. I was booked by Vana talking about the Crystal of Athens and the person who is the author of that. And she writes a dialogue about how whenever, to the effect of where whenever there's when you're in a bad situation, the crystal would probably you would need to call for something, and they would break through. And so they'll just depend on the crystals. They'll just depend on the crystals.
それをまさに注釈が入っていたでした。
I also made a note about that.
ということで、ちょっと話が脱線だいぶしちゃいましたけれども、注釈の話に戻ってまいりましょう。
Okay, now that we've diverged again, let's go back to the annotations.
最後にですね、暁の仲間についての注釈、イベントについての注釈を見ていきます。
So finally for this time, I would like to talk about some notes I made about the Levios.
彼らが高度になるシーンではなくて、アレムードでのあるシーンをご覧いただきたいと思います。
This is not when they're tugs, but this is when we're in Harlem.
ではこちらも動画でご覧いただきましょう。
And so we do have a video for this one as well. We can play that.
Always, non-intervention. Protect our knowledge and our people, and to hell with the rest of them. And yet, I can see how Varys and Father looked to their elders for guidance and took their virtues as their own. But this world was of their making. In whom else could they place their trust?
As you just saw, this is during Garlemald when Alvin and Alice are taken prisoner and are sort of reflecting on their own ways of living. こういうセリフだったわけですが、these are the lines in question. ちょっと入れていたのがどこかというと、and I put an annotation on this one. 3つ目のセリフ、the third one. 様々の日本語でかけがえのないものという言葉についてあるセリフを踏襲していますという注釈を入れていました。So I had to note that this one particular phrase in the Japanese かけがえのないもの came from a previous line. この言葉なんですけど、意味としては他のものが取って代わることができないようなとても大切なものという感じの意味です。So this phrase かけがえのないものhas a meaning that is like there is no replacement for this thing and it's very important to me personally. ただ、見たところ、英語には直接対応する表現がなさそうです。So as you may notice, none of the words I just said are in English. 何が起きているのか把握するために一旦注釈の内容を先に見てみましょう。So to understand what is going on here, we need to take a look at the annotation. かけがえのないものという言葉がキーワードとして出てきたのは大迷宮の半分の物語でした。Okay, so when the phrase かけがえのないもの was previously important was in the Binding Foil of Bahamut. 冥府の方から孫たちへの願い、そこにかけがえのないものが使われていたんですね。When Lucifer is talking to his grandchildren about what he wishes for them, that is when he uses this phrase in Japanese, かけがえのないもの。大迷宮の半分とそうはしてみせよ、そうでないにせよ。双子は旅の中で成長して、ガルバンドに至る頃にはちゃんとこのドリブロが願ったような人物に成長しています。And what he's wishing for was for them to have growth on their journey, whether it was going through toil or in the wider world. He wanted them to grow into stronger individuals, and at this point in Garlemald, they really have. They have gone on that journey with the well written. 日本語ではかけがえのないものという言葉を重ねることで、その意味合いを補強していたというわけです。And in Japanese, the repetition of this phrase, かけがえのないもの is how we sort of call back so that you remember that this was something that came from Lucifer. でも、映画版ではそもそも元のバカなセリフの方にかけがえのないものに対応する単語が使われていないようです。But as you can see, even in the original line in English, in the Binding Foil of Bahamut, they did not have words like irreplaceable or precious thing. 日本語と英語では語彙が違うし、ふさわしい言い回しも違うので、当然こういうことが起きてしまう。This is something that really frequently happens with such different languages as Japanese and English. When you want to convey the same sentiment, sometimes you have to use a completely different phrase. さて、困った。そこでどうしたのでしょうか。But it should stop. So what exactly happened? 生徒さん教えてもらえますか？はい。Kate, can you explain it? I like that. Alright, so this is a bit of a two-part explanation. First, to explain why this clause line is translated this way. As we sort of touched on, kakegai no naimono literally means irreplaceable things, like being used has this very strong connotation of something very important to me. Like it just goes directly to your heart when you hear it. So we wanted Lucifer to have his own way of saying that would communicate the fact that this is something that will become very important to you personally and a part of who you are. And that's why we chose these words. Your hopes and dreams no longer an extension of mine. You must needs find a reason to fight for this realm, your own meaning in the sea of chaos. And then, if we go to Alice's live, you can see that some of his phrases do once again appear. she recognizes the same situation that Luswa was referring to, that we're all in a sea of chaos searching for meaning, and that it can't just be an extension of another. It has to be something that's very deep and personal to you. And then we also use a cheat that we sometimes use, which is when you want the literal meaning, but you also want to do this callback, and there's too much to fit into one line. We did extend this across Alice's arc, as you will see in Ishikawa-san's upcoming explanation. But for now, and now we can just be like, okay, so for this line in particular, we have those repeated expressions similar to the Japanese, and then in a later line of Alice, we will bring it back to a slightly more literal interpretation and a more Alice-like interpretation to sort of finish this row. So, はい、次。Thank you, Gaeta-san.
つまり、別の言葉を重ねることで、印象の外見を切りとの関係性を作ったというわけですね。このあたりのローカライズチームの素晴らしい工夫は、明日のローカライズパネルでも伺えるそうなので、ぜひそちらもご覧ください。
If you'd like to hear a little bit more about the techniques we use when translating, you can come to the localization panel.
ここでちょっと聞いてみたいんですけど、
Oh, I want to ask another question here.
突然、ケイトさんと、あなた、あゆみさんにもなんですけど、今のって、まさに日本語の曖昧さというか、このかけがいのないものって、我々よく使うゲームのシナリオとか、キャラクターのセリフだとよく使うんですけど、英語にはそれに該当する言い方がないんですよね。
そうです。
全く。
So yeah, sorry, we're breaking out into more of a localization question here. We're curious to know from Kate and possibly from Aimee also, but then this sort of vagueness of Japanese and like a lot of implication happens within such short phrasing like kakegai no nai mono. It is something that the Japanese writers tend to use a lot in like depicting how a character feels about something. And so yeah, there's no like one-to-one translation in English.
例えばシナリオをこう翻訳、カルチャライズしてきて、日本人がよく使いそうなテキストで、それはだから英語にはないんだって思うなんか代表例みたいなの、もしくは僕の通訳をいつもあゆみさんしてもらってて、よしそれよく言うけどそれ英語にないんだよっていうなんかあったりします。
なんか、so whenever we are writing the scenario and then we have the localization teams that we culturalize it, so to speak, you know, there are a lot of words that might not necessarily be like a succinct way of expressing it, like in one or two words. And same goes for translation and interpretations as well. So are there any sort of examples you can think of, like in your writing, the English localization, like it's so hard to kind of put it into like the words in the English. Well, I think the one that comes to mind right at this moment is we were also talking about this earlier in the break room, but there's the Japanese phrase like yoroshiku onegaishimasu, right, which means like, please, I would like you to treat me respectfully while we're about to do this thing. Like there's really no good translation in English, so you just kind of have to understand what the context is and go from there. よろしくお願いしますみたいに、なんかその決まった表現がないから、まずはどう気持ちで言ってるかを分かってから翻訳しないと、なんかものすごく微妙な、なんか分かりにくい表現になってしまいます。よろしく、そう。お願いします。何をよろしくされるんだろうとか、そう、その、なんか私にちょっと親切にお願いしますけど、私からもなんかちゃんとやりますからみたいな。で、頼みますからっていう意味で言ってるのかなであったり、like are we asking somebody to do something for us, or is it just a greeting, like これからもよろしくお願いしますっていうその今後のご挨拶だった場合には。But it's more like an anticipation of, well, what is to happen? Like, I leave it in your hands, but what are we leaving in our hands? Like, etc., etc. So you really have to understand, like, the context within which the expression can be used, like, often in many, many contexts, and also the feeling behind it in this particular context. なので、文脈をたどるときに、結構、いろいろなその、周りのそのコミュニケーションを拾いながら、どういった意図で言われているのか、あとはそのどういった感情が乗っているのかっていうのがわからないと、うまくその英語のワードチョイスっていうのができないっていうことはあります。ということで
sorry, and so, oh no, that's what Keita さんが言ってたことを訳して
訳しました。So like in this case, like if we had said like they have kakegai no naimono, and sure the most literal translation of that is an irreplaceable thing. But if we had Louisoix say like, I need you to go out and find an irreplaceable thing, you wouldn't understand that what he meant is I need you to find something that is so deeply personal to you that it is worth meaning for continuing to grow, right? So that's why the sort of context framing is so important.
なので、その例えばルイゾワがアリゼやアルティムに自分のかけがえのないものを探しに行きなさいっていうふうに、彼にとってはそのもう孫たちにちゃんと自分の大事なものを探してこいっていうふうに日本語では伝わるんですけれども、英語で例えばそのフラットに取り替えられないものっていうのが大体、一番直訳するとそういった感情もなくなっちゃう英語になっちゃうので、探しに行きなさいって言われても、なんだろう、何か物を探しに行くのかしらみたいな印象を与えかねない。
日本語は確かにこう結構よろしくお願いしますね。よく使うけど、なんとなくニュアンスでね、ああはい、わかりました。じゃあよろしくお願いしますみたいな返し方するけど、主語ないもんね、何にもね。
待って。That's true, because 英語と日本語が混じりすぎてる。Oh, that's okay. ごめんなさい、I'm confusing Ishikawa-san. I'm jumping in English and Japanese. But going back to the whole よろしくお願いします dialogue, it's just, come to think of it, yeah, the Japanese people are so used to using it, almost like a greeting, like, okay, I leave it in your hands, okay, thank you, I same to you. And so there's not really any sort of question behind it, but then if you look at it closely, the subject is omitted, so you don't know who you're talking to or what you're asking for. ごめんなさい、こんな。いや、
大丈夫。ちなみにあゆみさんはないの？ヨスピーもうこれ言うのやめてみたいな。
Yoshida-san is still curious about what example Aimi comes up with.
He wants to know what exactly he should stop saying to not annoy her.
そんなことないです。時だけは通訳しか脳がないので、これをどう言い換えようっていうのをむしろチャレンジに思ってるバカなので。もう何でも投げてください。こっちで頑張って英語でなんとかダメだろうと思いながら考えます。
It's fine, like we enjoy the challenge of doing this, so it's, they don't need to change what they're doing.
優しさに助けられてるっていうことです。はい。
Yoshi says, "Oh, I've been saved by their kindness. They've been helping me all along."
はい、ということで、またもや私に聞こえてしまいましたが、そんな感じのローカライズ側の努力のあって、全世界に皆さんに同じものを伝え届けられるように努力しています。So now that we've taken that long cul-de-sac, I hope you can understand a little bit of the effort that goes into making these understandable for all of our audiences. とはいえ、ローカライズチームだけに頑張らせるわけにはいきません。However, I can't just let the localization team have all the fun and trying to be clever. ということで、別の工夫をしたところもあります。So I do use a variety of strategies to enhance our narrative. こちらは、双子とフルシュナが和解するシーンなのですが、so this is the scene with the twins and Fortuno. こちらも日本語では、かけがえのないものを重ねることで大迷宮とならバハムートから続くルビール家の一連の物語であるようにしています。And so I am bringing this full circle in Japanese by using the same phrase from the foil and from Alise's earlier monologue, かけがえのないもの。同時に演技付けの参考としてこんな注釈を入れていました。But also I left this annotation about the animation. 大迷宮バハムートのこのシーンのポーズと、if you look at this pose from Finding Foil, フルシュノが双子にとった動きが本人たちは意図してないけど同じになる。You can see that Fortuno is doing the exact same thing as his father did in this scene.
ちょっと待てよ、戻して。
Let us look at it again. There we go.
カメラ位置はね、逆なんだけど。
The positioning of the camera is like flipped around with where it's shooting from. 別にモーションを使い回すためにやってたわけじゃないんですよ。
I mean, it's not like you can't tell what's happening though, right? まあこれならね、言語によらずどんな言語であっても2つのシーンにうっすらとつながりが感じられるといった次第です。And so when you have this kind of visual parallel, it doesn't matter what language you're speaking, you can understand that there's a connection. こうやって並べてみると、まあ、そんなに大きく変わったわけではないんですが、やっぱり大きくなったなっていう気がしますね。When you see them like this, like physically, of course, Alphino and Alice haven't gotten a lot taller, but you sure feel like they've grown.
そうね。まあ、たびたびちょっとインタビューでも言ってるんですけど、まあ、ファイナルファンタジー14のね、真の、主人公は、プレイヤーの皆さん、光の戦士なんですけど、NPC 側の主人公として、この2人をずっと回しかけ10年描いてきてるので、思い入れはめちゃくちゃ強いです。
Sure, and I've mentioned this in various interviews, but of course, the main character, protagonist, the true protagonist, is the player, or our Warrior of Light in Final Fantasy XIV. But on the NPC side, I mean, we've been following these twins, the Veer twins, for almost over 10 years at this point.
俺50歳だからさ、この2つの絵見てるだけでもう泣きそうだもんだって。
I mean, maybe it's because I'm growing older. I'm 50 years old right now, but just looking at these scenes almost makes me want to cry.
これはでも俺チェックしてて気づいてるんですよ。
But there was one thing that I did notice when I was checking this.
こんなところから始まったよね。
覚えてます？皆さんこの最初のキャリーチが2人。You remember this way back at the beginning in the carriage?
まだ注目されてないからね、この時。
Yeah, those two weren't even highlighted back then.
まあ、アルフィノ君がね、
そしてこれだもん。
クリスタルブレイブした後に、and then Alphino went real crazy with the Crystal Braves. こちらのそばですよ。And then he got super depressed. この挫折があったからこそ、アルフィノ君はここから非常にいい男に成長していくんじゃないかなと思います。But because he's been through so much, I think he's going to grow into a really good man. これちなみに、このさっきの1個作る前で戻ります？
戻してみる？
タタルさん、黒幕説この頃ありましたよね。
あったあった。
There was this part with Tataru here.
Yeah.
There were some rumors about her being the actual like mastermind behind everything. Yeah.
日本でも結構多かったんですよ。あれ絶対黒幕タタルだろう。
Yeah, there were people who were speculating in Japan too, like she's actually the mastermind and the villain all along.
今でもワンチャンあるもんね。
I mean, I still have a chance. I don't know.
暁が解散し、あの倉庫を手に入れるタタルさんは、これから世界の支配者になっていきます。I would like it if Tataru would rule the world.
いや、やっぱりその世界。
Sorry, lower it down.
どうしても皆さんのキャラクターを勝手に成長させたり勝手に挫折させたりは難しいんで、本当に。それでもね、石狩野で追い落とされたりとかはやってるんですけど、まあ、この代わりといってはなんですけど、やっぱり
出てるでしょ。
なんでこんなとこまで進んでるの？
Oh no. Sorry, we didn't realize what the PowerPoint shenanigans.
止めた、動かしたからじゃないか。オートスライドになる。
Oh no, we might have put it onto auto or something like that. Sorry about that.
で、あれ訳してもらったっけ？
はい、まだです。So with Final Fantasy, we have like a character that takes you through the narrative of each of the different series title, and you kind of, oh gosh, sorry. And Final Okay, so you have like an established character in a Final Fantasy title, but with Final Fantasy XIV, because we are an MMO, the player is what we have decided is the main character of this narrative, and so we can't let the Warrior of Light grow without the player kind of experiencing that sort of development. We can't have any sort of random disappointment. That doesn't make sense. So it, well, except for Heavensward, we were kind of chased out of Ul'dah and had to escape to Ishgard, of course. But and
まあ、だからこそこう NPC 側のというか物語側の成長要素っていうのはこの2人でかなり強く描いてきたので、まあ僕からするともうなんかちょっと息子と娘感がちょっと苦しのの立場感があるんで。
And so that's why we kind of used the NPCs as our sort of vehicle to carry on that sort of development and the character arc and kind of drove that narrative in that way. So with Alphino and Alisaie, they feel like son and daughter. I know we have Marshano as their dad, but it almost feels like I am watching these kids grow up.
アリセイのセリフを最も書いてきたのは
I'm running the stream on the live
You're
stream.
probably
So it's like radio. It's
written those dialogue, lines dialogue.
Yeah, it's Yoshi and the other girl. She's a writer for the storyboard. She like
Yeah, from a
wrote
while
for a
back I
bunch of the
started writing a
stuff.
lot of those.
They're talking about the game, how I brought
ア
it.
レルブリボンだ
Well,
と
then
ア
I
リ
have
セ
to
イ
secret
この
shit.
バハムートでし
They
か
had a
出て
good
こないもん
performance in the
ね。
beginning though. I
That's
gotta
true.
watch. I wanna watch that
Around
one too because I
before,
didn't
she
get
kind
to
of
see
goes
that.
off and does her own thing, but she does appear in Binding Quell of Bahamut.
なんか思い出ありますアリセイのここ
I gotta make
す
a
ごい
funny
困ったな
noise
でもいい
and
し
then a
こ
couple
こ
more
めっちゃ
plots
感
and then I
情
can
移
put
入
the
したな
story
みたい
together.
な。
Do you remember any anecdotes, like stuff that you felt was a challenge, or like really memorable scenes of Alisaie?
今のことはないかな。割とアリゼもいつでもアリゼでいてくれるので、なんかあんまり迷った、何を言わせるか迷ったみたいな印象は
Yeah,
ない
I
で
remember we
す。
were doing that one. Go ahead.
Honestly, I find Alisaie a very straightforward character to write, so I never really felt like I was deeply troubled having to write any of her lines or anything. アルフィナってすごい分かりやすく言葉にしていろんなことを知りたがるんですけれども、アスクに合流した後のアリでもうかなり積極的に世界とか周りのことを知ろうっていう意思があるんですね。
They're getting more
I mean, Alphino, as we
Shakespearean
know,
with
is
it.
quick to explain exactly what he's thinking. But Alisaie as well, since the point where she joined the Scion, she's been quite assertive about doing what she feels is right. だから何かが起きた時にどうしたのとかどうしてるのどうしてこうなったのとかあなたはどうしたいのっていうのを実はアリゼはすごく問いかけてくれるキャラクターだったりします。So really, like this, Alisaie is an easy character to ask, like, what do you want to do? And she will give you an answer. で、それを聞いて、その上で、私はこう思うからこうするわっていうことを言えるキャラクターである。And when she hears opinions from others, she's very quick to say, like, okay, I've processed this, and now I've decided what I'm going to do. アリゼの成長ってアルフィのほどは分かりやすくないんですけど、やっぱり最初のおじいさんのことを聞いたら思い込みに走って怒っていたっていうところから比べると、こういうところがすごく素敵な女性になったなって思います。Alisaie's character development might be a little bit harder to identify than Alphina's, but in her case, I think compared to the original, when she was only listening to her grandfather's words, as compared to now, when she's taken in so much and come to her own conclusions, I think you can really see that she's grown into a young woman here.
まあ確かにアリゼは逆にその大迷宮バハムのシナリオを見てるのではもうなんかずっとイライラしっぱなしだもんね。
Daddy
For
issues.
sure, yeah. Before we go
Right
into
next to two dogs.
the story that's depicted throughout the Binding Quell of Bahamut, she was always kind of irritated.
だからアルフィノがってやってからこうなるアリセイにとっては成長する多分最大のきっかけだったんですよね。
And so we had Alphino and his experience with trying to put together the Crystal Brave, and then that scene happened. I think in a similar way, Alisaie's arc in Coil kind of shows, and after finding out the truth, once we get to the deepest Coil, I think that was the catalyst of her kind of character growth.
Re-explaining things.
最近合流された方はなかなか昔のレイドって遊ぶ機会がないと思うんですけれども、そんなことで行月とかアルフラリゼンの成長とも大きく関わっているので、よければまだ遊んでない方は大人気バハムート遊んでみてください。
Yeah, I think maybe a lot of our new folks don't have opportunities to play our older raids as much. But if you at all can, I do recommend that you check out Coil because it is so important to these characters and the story.
ただね、昔最初に作ったレイドだからちょっと変なところでカットシーン入るの。
Okay, but it is like the first raid we made, so the cutscenes come in at really weird times sometimes.
ごめんなさいね、あれね、開発チームも今だったらあんなことしないんですけど、もう当時何も分かってなくて、みんなでじゃあここに入れるかって言って入れちゃったので、攻略の邪魔になっていたら本当にごめんなさい。
Sorry about that. Like the team of today wouldn't do that, but back then we were just sort of like, yeah, adding it here might be nice, and then it was like a huge impediment to your progress. So sorry about that.
あれ、ノーマルもハードもないからって言ってなかった。
Oh, and plus, we don't have the normal versus extreme or savage mode either.
正直で綺麗に作り直したいぐらいだよね、あれね。
I would love to kind of revisit it and remake it if at all possible.
やりましょうか。
Oh, we should.
バハムート回収。
Finally, Coil of Bahamut returns.
ボスのギミックめちゃくちゃだもんだって。
But the mechanics of the boss fights, it's all over the place.
だってヘビにスライム食べさせるのに車同士で俺コラプスって走ってたもんだって。
I mean, we were trying to feed the slimes to the snake, and then while I was playing as a black mage, and I was shooting at it and trying to get it to work.
They told you to send the lock. So I was like, yeah, back in 2021's Last Manifest, that's when he did that. You want to view the whole song? Go ahead and play it. And then I was like, oh, they highlighted that, huh? I think Yoshi loves that.
And then
Yoshi's one of those Japanese CEOs.
So I was trying to cast Blizzard, and then another player came in, chimed in, and said,
they were also explaining like how they talk and how they, most of what they're saying is expressions, because that's the language in Japanese. Like,
yeah.
ありましたね。
So much is happening.
まあ、僕も終盤ですけど、まあなんかそれこそ新生から。
Like if he says like go find something for yourself, they really mean like go search for yourself and find something within yourself, kind of deal. But a lot of people wouldn't get that, and they explain that's what they meant by it. Like, then maybe you get questioned like, well, why did you just say it this way? Like it's because in our language it's expression.
Any other sort of memories that you have?
And I guess if they say it to each other, they use them so commonly that if you hear it, you'll know the
皆さんにちょっと断っておきたいですけど、私たちのこのパネル、他のリハーサルが一切リハーサルしてないので、
Finding someone who understands, like,
just so you know,
I'm like, I know how that
time to
feels.
rehearse this panel in full, so this is the first time I'm hearing this question.
And me and you,
だってあとまだ20
me
分
and
あ
I
る
are
から。
not
We
Japanese.
still have 20 minutes.
I think me and you are so deep thought and harder that we
広すぎて難
are
し
so
い
deep
ですね、そ
English
の
in
質
the
問
same
は。
way as
And that's like a really difficult question,
Yeah, I
actually.
feel that
think
too.
we
I feel like
English
that.
as an expression.
Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just people don't really look at expressional things. They look at it literally like, well, you just asked me to do this, so I tried to do it.
も
Like,
し
but I
直
didn't
せる
need
な
to
ら
do
直した
that.
いと思ってるのが、マジでバハムートのカットシーンの1。
Really, though, the Bahamut haunts me, and I'd really like to redo those cutscenes.
Really?
ま
I'm like veteran players over here. I was over there playing their little, their game earlier they were having. What happened during this? A or B?
Yeah,
What
we were
did this
still
release?
very
A or B? I got most of them right. I was like,
our
ha
schedules were
ha.
also kind
It's
of all
cool.
over the place too.
I got like 2 wrong.
まだまだこうテクニックがね発達してないから苦労の連続だと思う。
And we were still unexperienced with the different techniques that we could apply to give these cutscenes like a cinematic presentation. So yeah, it was quite a challenge to get through that.
でも、そのね、やっぱりそのカットシーンとか、
Dang, I'm surrounded by people
と
now.
弁もそうなんですけど、申請の頃ってやっぱり MA の方にス
FanFest
トー
is
リーって
live.
必要なのかっていう
These are all the
スタッフ
players
の
who
中に
didn't
も
get
やっ
the
ぱり気
freaking
持ち
go
と
to
してありまし
FanFest.
た。
All of us
I mean,
didn't get
so
to go to FanFest.
learning how to make
Everyone right
cutscenes
now
is one
online.
thing, but to be honest, back in the Realm Reborn days,
But it's small in there. You should see the hall that they're in. The hall that they're in looks like there's only like 100 people in there.
we should be focused on.
It looked hella small when they showed it. I was like, huh. And I think that's the way of controlling the population of it, you know? Pretty messed up though. I'm like, those lucky ass people. I wonder how they got their tickets. Can only imagine.
It was
Right.
actually Yoshi P who came and
I mean, what the
said,
fuck are you staring
it's a
at?
Final
Oh,
Fantasy
you're
game.
staring
At
at
least we
Romagnon or
disabled.
Moon Milk. Oh yeah, she's staring at Moon Milk.
This way.
だから私はスタッフの一人として
It looks like we're all just listening in on a speaker at the Inland.
世界まあ時にはその一つの国だったり
Man, they
地
should
域だ
put,
ったり
they should do
Get away
like,
from my
本当
man,
に
you
世界だったり
whore.
星だっ
you
た
know,
り
they
もし
should
ました
do,
け
they
ど
should do like old school PlayStation home game.
So
and
I
put
guess
like a
those words have
screen
kind of
up
been my
there with
guiding
this
star,
playing
and
on
so
it.
I've had a
Man, we
say
could hear it. You know how many people would be here
the whole
just
world
sitting there
sitting
watching
in the whole
it?
universe.
Everyone's
what if
sitting
we-
down.
Imagine all of us sitting at the Mikado fucking
At the
theater like this.
Yeah, you can have one there. You can have one here. You can have one in your room.
I think we overload the server.
It would be crazy. People would be like way too into
And I
it.
also think that
Oh,
because
Yoshi's
we had
listening.
such reactions,
They
like
probably
just
thought
like you
about
guys
it and
today
was
when
like,
you're cheering, but because we had such positive reactions from the fans
What if
about the
someone hacks
story,
it, like-
that really gave us confidence that oh, okay,
No,
it is
yeah.
okay to focus on the story.
See someone over there like,
まあ、
oh, someone hacked
まあでも確
it.
かに、
But then
当時はまだ
everyone
吸盤があって
gets、
I've
ARR リ
been
リースす
seeing
る前だか
my
ら、
TikTok feed has been loading up with Final Fantasy, and
で、
there's a lot of
MMO
people
に詳しければ詳しいほど、ストーリ
putting
ーだ
mods
って
in
言
the
ってる部
game.
分が、
No, hell yeah,
プ
there's
レイヤー
tons
も
of
むしろ
mods
ち
in
ゃん
I'm
と
like,
し
there.
たいんじゃないかっていう、こう疑心暗鬼にやっぱりなっちゃう。詳しければ詳しいほどなる人も、やっぱりいなかったわけじゃないの
One
で、
guy,
でも
one of the guys
そ
who
の
left,
人が、
he left his
コ
mods
ーピン
on,
がユニークで、
and he was at that one where he's playing White Mage, and he has to look up that little girl, right?
鍵になる。
Blonde girl. Remember? He's like,
そういうところこそこだわるんだっていう話を
Yeah.
して、まあそれをね、本当みんなで叶えてきてくれたか
I'm
ら。
like, what are you looking at, you little Lagaville slut?
For sure, yeah. At the time we still had the original Final Fantasy 1.0, and then we were right before ARR. So when we listened to some of our development team members, and especially those who are more well versed in MMOs at the time, would mention about, hey, I don't know if it's a good idea to have a story because it might actually hinder the player's progression in the
I'm
game.
everywhere.
But thankfully, we pushed through with that sort of story-driven
They hella
concept,
cloned
and
the
I think
shit
that's how
out of
we
me
were
here.
able to
It's
make
not
our
even
title
funny,
so
babe,
unique.
how like
It allows
how
for us
fucking
to open
I feel
it
like
so
it-
that,
pages
I feel like an original.
Like
Like I definitely feel like an original.
We were really particular about trying to get that down, so I feel like the
I
team
swear to
really
God,
came together
babe,
and
you
were able to
revolutionized
make that a reality.
Oh, even the what do they call it? The Equip Dumpy. They asked what was released first, the Equip Dumpy, or what was it? The
ね、だから本当にこ
I
の場を
want
借
to
り
say
て言いたいことがあるとしたら、皆さんに本当
The
に
Ruby
ありがとうございました。私たちが
it was the Equip Dumpy
ち
first.
ゃんとストーリーを書いてこ
And
ら
they
れ
said
たの
the
は、
servers were
自分たちが
so
書いてきたこと以
overloaded
上
with it,
に
and the best
書い
part
て
is
きた
the
ことに
best
対して
part.
リアクションをしてきてくれたからだと
They
思ってい
thought
ま
that
す。
was funny. I was like,
So
oh,
yeah,
you
I mean,
guys
if there
think
is
that was
just one
funny.
thing I
that on
want to
purpose.
say, I have to
That
like
means they
today
did
is
that on
Yeah,
purpose. Like, look,
yeah.
you
I
guys
really,
can have a
really
butt
appreciate
too.
all of
There-
you.
Me and you,
Only
if
because
me and you were here,
reacting
we'd
to
probably
it that we
laugh
were
at
able to
everything
continue
they were
writing this
saying and
story.
just be like,
So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm not gonna lie, the people asking them questions don't really look too into it.
right?
Like, you can tell
ま
that's
あ
how they
4D はね、
They're promoting
ず
these
っと言ってま
chairs
すけ
and
ど、
they're
皆さ
promoting
んと
some
一緒に
computer
作
stuff,
ってい
graphics
くファイ
card.
ナルファンタジーなので、
I'm like, I want that
ぜひ
chair.
ね、これからもよろしくお願いします。アンエンディングジャーニーなんで。はい。
And as I've mentioned many times before, and I still stand by it, Final Fantasy XIV is something that we build together, and so I would love
I'd be like,
to
can me and my wife take a picture
continue
up
to work
there?
with you and to continue
I'd be like,
with
sure.
this game. As you
I'd
mentioned,
be wanting to take
and the
pictures
journey
everywhere. I'd be
this
asking if I can go
story
up there.
is.
Can I?
はい、ということでなんかまるで終わってしまったかのような感じですけれども、今回のパネルもそろそろ締めていきたいと思います。Alright, and with that, I'd like to bring this panel to a close.
That's it for the panel.
Oh, not fully closed. One more
Yeah,
thing.
from 2 to 4.
でね、今回ご紹介したところ以外にも、
They didn't release anything. They started talking about stuff that might be coming in the future.
So as you can
They talked
tell
about
from
the
this,
alligators a little
there's a lot of
bit. Yoshi was kind of like, well, we're not sure if people really want to hear about the alligators
see, much like Dynamis.
again.
いつかまたね、物語に触れることがあれば、そういうのを探していただくのもいいかもしれません。So next time you take a look at the story, maybe consider the things that aren't immediately apparent and see what connections and interesting points you can find. ただ、現実ではって真実を信じてほしいっていうのはなかなかつかめないものです。But even in our real world, perhaps there's never just one truth. どんな意図で書かれているかではなくて、皆さんが見て、聞いて、考えて、考えたものがエンドオーバーです。
Oh, that'd be funny. She was evil.
It was the way I wanted. Endwalker is truly what you all
but he was a elaborate.
That's funny.
Hi, bet you never thought you'd see the last of me.
Got you. I'm back. I'm in a rabbit. Like.
And like it shows him where you're like as a machinist and puts a gun up to the locker. And it's like, oh. Like I'm just elaborate. Push the pearl off the head. Like.
And they talked about that too. They talked about how just was one of those characters who just kept coming back no matter what. Like that's why we saw him in the end too. But they really wanted to put some explanation to just like, hey, I'm here in this random moment. And like, yeah, he was really
kind of already knew.
He's so pumped up that he can break barriers like that. Just to get to you. Yeah.
I wanna get you.
Right. Zeno.
監修役としてめちゃめちゃ見ているチェックをし、そんななっちゃんから見ていかがですか、先生。
I'm trying to do like Zelda moves in this game and it's not working.
That's a gigantic frostbite.
That's tight. I love the community too. They're pretty funny.
Done. So, Nachan, can you give us your thoughts on the progress so far? まさしく新しい冒険って感じで大変だけど楽しいです。It really does feel like a brand new adventure to me. There are certainly a lot of trials and tribulations, but it is exciting. みんなの準備を整えて
I need 20 of these damn things. They're hella expensive too. These are like 20,000 each. I'm making the wrong ingredients. I gotta start making ingredients for the end game here.
It's sort of like I've given them a map and been like, go, and then they're running around like, oh hey!
That's the community.
I will absolutely lend them a hand.
Plus, I got re-inspired this morning too. No, that's a dude. I'm like, no, it's a chick. It's like, no, it's a dude.
Did you get re-inspired by?
But no, I got re-inspired last night too, watching like.
We do eventually arrive at a point where everyone's like, oh, I know what to do, and they run straight for the end line.
And then somebody was like, me greeting my friend throughout the game to help them get through
It's really great that we have this experience together, and I do think it bodes well for the next 10 years of Final Fantasy XIV.
We actually just helped him get through all the simplest parts of the game.
Yeah, those are the most boring parts of the game.
本人たちが自分で言うのはちょっと照れるだろうから、コーチさんと一緒に今日公開されたトレーラーのですね、主題歌に歌詞として込めてみました。
If you were on and I wasn't,
It's probably a little bit embarrassing for them to like talk about it themselves, but you know, the reaction from the trailer is
and tag everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone does it to speedrun, they fucking DPS it.
ということでね、ソケンさんが周りに答えを求めながら頑張って作ったトレーラーの曲を見ながら次の情報公開や発売を楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。
I think at that point I would
Also,
start
you might
calling
want to
all my
note that from the
friends, start
trailer,
calling
I
people,
worked on that with Koji,
Hey,
and
guys,
I am really
need
looking
you real
forward
quick.
to this new journey
That's what it was
with all
supposed
of
to be
you.
like
Rex
with my
isn't
brother, but he didn't
online
stay online.
today.
He'll come back eventually, I'm hoping. And my struggle is just trying to keep people playing. They're like, oh, that's a cool game.
My family talk on that too. They're trying to push the
いろんな
World of
新しいことや
Warcraft
ってる
on
ん
me,
で
and I'm
楽しいです
And
Yeah, I also wanted to touch
I'm like,
upon
is this a
this,
sneak
as you can see, is quite a departure from what we've been doing, and this whole
Or is
theme
this
of
just
summer
Girl Tana?
vacation. And it's just, we've been doing a lot of new things on our end.
Yeah, no, this
まあなので
is
しっかり作っていきますんでぜひね次なる新しい
yeah,
経験も
you see the
楽
difference.
しみにお待ちください
This is Girl Tana.
And so we will
Maybe it'll
continue
be
to
on
work
the
hard
other
to
side.
continue
No.
production, and so I hope you
This
look
will be the
forward to
new.
it.
This will be the
よ
Hingashi
しじゃあ
scene.
苦労してるので長かったけどご挨拶
Oh,
を
I
一
think
人
you
ず
use
つ
the water texture.
ゲットがありますので
So let's, we will be closing
Honestly, I
out the
felt
panel,
like they
so
kinda
before we do
bombed
that,
it.
let's go ahead and
I hope
have
they
each
give us
person
some
go
void
through
land to
and
go
provide
through.
some final thoughts. Kate, can you go
That'd be
first,
pretty
please?
cool, because
Yeah.
we can go into the void, but kind
Well,
of
I
not
enjoyed being
really.
up here, and I really
If they
enjoyed
gave
all
us
of
like a
your
whole
reactions.
land, oh,
I
fuck, I ran
appreciate
out
your
of fucking
patience as I
food.
sort of paused to
Damn it.
remember what words are several times. So thank you all. I really hope you enjoyed it, and also just a big thanks to Ishikawa-san for always writing those annotations. Really,
She's wearing
we
a
would
Batman
be in a
shirt
much more
too.
spot if she didn't
Her and
do
a
that.
couple of the other
So,
announcers are wearing them.
いろいろ伝えてくださってありがとうござい
You
ま
guys
す。
are kind of missing the mark.
お返しとして助かります。
Yeah. I don't think they wanted it to be
じゃああ
too
ゆみ
big
さんも
though.
一言お願いします
Yeah,
Hi.
it kinda looks
So
like
thank you
that.
guys for listening in. I'm afraid I didn't remember all of the Japanese versus the English dialogue in some parts, so apologies if
Like, oh no, these are starting to feel like $150
yeah, it's very interesting to
tickets.
see Natchan and Keito-san being very collaborative in their work, and just how much effort goes into creating the narrative so that it's
Look at her
understandable
shirt,
to
that Lopper
any
shirt.
That's tight.
in
Yeah,
any
some of them
way.
got the yellow one
So,
on too.
yeah, thank you
I've
again for having
always
me here.
wanted to wear my shirt.
ありがとうございます
That'd be cute on you.
A
Oh yeah.
long sleeve with a.
ではなっちゃんお願い
That'd be
し
like a
ま
nice,
す
はーい。
late,
まずは長時間にわたりありがとうございま
I
し
wanted
た。
to try that.
So thank you
Yeah,
for
I think
staying
you
with
do
us
it.
for this whole
You got
long
enough hours
time.
to do it.
なんでね、みんな 7.0 の情報を知りたい時期だっていうのに、こんな振り返りでね、しかも文字いっぱいでね、なんか申し訳ないんじゃないかなってちょっと思ってたんですけれども。
Look at
I was a
all
little
these, they're
worried
all
because I
my
thought, you know,
friends.
this is when everyone wants to hear about 7.0, and instead I'm going to talk about 6.0, and I'm also just going to slap a lot of words everywhere.
You need a repeat
みんなでそういう温かい反応で、どうにか最後まで話し切ることができました。But because you were all so kind, I really felt encouraged and able to continue all the way to the end of this
You know, it
presentation.
sucks. Everybody probably done this show.
Thank
Twice, and the
you.
aisles probably look like total shit.
はい、
Oh,
で
yeah,
は
you
お
know
時間となりました
that. Right before
が
school.、
開発バ
Kinda why I wanted to do it
長時
earlier.
間ありがとうございました。
Thank you so
I'm
much
gonna
for
let
your
everyone
considering
grab
us now
that
and
store,
develop
and then I'm
panel.
gonna go.
Thank you. This concludes
Because
the
I
show.
hate going there when there's a bunch of fucking moms
Unless
yelling
Matt's
at
coming out.
me.
Unless Matt's, oh, Matt's
You
coming
know
out
what? No
here.
one told you to have 6 fucking kids.
I'm like, that's how I would look coming out on stage. Like, what's up? Yeah. All healthy and shit.
I like the big dudes running around here.
Oh, Yoshi got a sweater with that imprinted on it.
I never thought that would be me, honestly.
Or that was that girl.
All right.
Who?
I said I never thought I'd be the
Alrighty,
type of
we will
person
be
who actually
back
likes
here on
big
the
guys.
stage at 5 p.m. for our
Really?
Glamour to Life
Yeah.
cosplay walk, so make sure you're here for that. We have
I
some
don't
amazing
think a lot of
cosplays in
people
store, and I
expected
know
that
you
from me
all
either. I
will
thought
love
they
to
thought
see
that would
all
be
the
with
amazing
some,
work
like,
and talent that's on display.
some
So,
fucking beach
see you
boy.
here in about an hour, all right? Take care, everybody.
Look at his diaper.
Take care, everybody.
Oh, I would love the new Warrior of Light and all those statues in real life.
Okay. What they expected to do.
Look at that, I bet they got fireworks.
Oh, you know.